Hey everybody, it's Tara with DeRosa Group and DeRosa Living. One of the questions that I get asked a lot is, what's the difference between asset management and property management? What does an asset manager do? How is it different than what you do in property management? Where's the line? And if we don't own an asset that's big enough to make hiring a property manager make sense, does that take both of those jobs and smush them together all under the asset manager, or how do I make that work? Think of asset management and property management really as doing the same things, but with different long-term vision. Asset management, the goal is really long-term. It's ROI, it's NOI. You are taking the strategic vision that you have from the ownership group and lengthening that field and projecting out what that's going to look like for the next 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, to make the asset itself function the way that the pro forma is guiding it to, right? So you're taking the raw product and you're going, okay, this is where I'm going to be in 5 years, and from a broad stroke level, here's how I'm going to make that happen. Here's where I'm going to reduce expenses, but I'm going to elevate some of the income that I'm seeing. You do that with some market rent changes. You can do that with value add. You're going to renovate these units. So I'm going to get a $250 premium, and this is going to give me that yield. Here's when I think I'll be refi eligible. Here's when we'll be paying out this class share of investors. And so it's about the long game. Property management tends to be about the short game. It's not that they're not looking that far into the future. It's that they're looking that far into the future by focusing on building solid building blocks on the day-to-day. Property management is about taking this asset, taking the vision that the asset manager has provided, and putting it into operational steps that make that goal achievement possible. Things like leasing the apartments, determining appropriate market rent, taking the asset manager's vision for value add and getting those teams in play, getting those renovations happening, staying consistent in both product aesthetics and also timing, and maximizing time so that you're minimizing vacancy loss. So it's a lot of ins and outs on the day-to-day level, and the AM tends to see things from a little bit more of a higher perspective because that's where they've built that product out. If you are in a group that has a 20 unit, nothing, maybe not big enough in that submarket or not collective enough to justify hiring a PM, the asset manager is really going to bridge both of those worlds. I've got some asset managers that I've worked with that are fantastic. They get a really good sense of where their vision is, what the strategic goals are for this asset, and then they're able to put it into concrete lanes and guidance and directive. Some asset managers tend to be very numbers focused. Not that it's a bad thing. You need to have that skill. But when you're in a small ownership group balancing both worlds, you want to have an understanding of property management in your market and in your state, because state laws will dictate what you can and cannot do. And really, at the end of the day, we just want to make sure that you're doing it legally. That's goal number one, right? Goal number two is reducing the liability. And 3, achieving the goals that you have set forward through this asset. And you do that on the operational level. And so the asset manager may also be balancing, leasing efforts, marketing, making sure that curb appeal is strong by engaging with the vendors and staying on top of the vendors. And so the AM can be handling both strategic vision, but also puppet mastering on the other side to make sure that they are effectively managing all the players for this asset that make it hum and run the way that it should. That's it in a nutshell. There's a lot more to this. I mean, we're talking volumes and hours of stuff here, guys. But if you like this kind of Q&A, you like this approach, this type of education, then hit us up at the DeRosa Group. We've got a ton of different options that are out there for education. We've got a ton of different platforms that we use, because at the end of the day, our motto is transforming lives through real estate, and that starts through education. And it plays all the way through everybody that we meet, everybody that we work with, everyone who lives at one of our communities, and also all of our staff that work there. Truly, at the end of the day, the more you know, the better prepared you'll be to take on your next asset. Talk to you soon.